Once upon a time, there was a girl named
Muriel. Muriel!
Muriel.
Muriel. Are you Muriel Heslop? No.
All she ever dreamed about was getting married.
Looks like I'm next.
There was only one thing missing. A groom.
No one's ever gonna marry you. You've never even had a boyfriend.
Muriel's on the dole.
You never wear the right clothes.
You mental case! You keep away from us!
But before she can find a future,
I'm gonna be a success, Mum. I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna be a success.
she has to find herself.
You are wicked. Well, stick with me, because I'm wicked too.
Rhonda changed my life.
She would.
Oh, by the way, I'm not alone. I'm with Muriel.
Now, the girl she used to be has changed.
I've got one.
Well, it's a start.
We just want to know you're all right, love.
Into the woman she always was.
Muriel, are you all right? You're terrible, Muriel.
This is my new life. I'm a new person.
Miramax Films invites you to celebrate the most unexpected event of the year. Muriel's wedding.
Muriel? You're beautiful.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and since I started this podcast, I haven't listened to one ABBA song. That's because my life is as good as an ABBA song. It's as good as Dancing Queen. And that's because of my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
You're terrible, Sonia.
I am terrible. We are dorking out about 1994's Muriel's Wedding, or Mariel's Wedding, depending on which.
Or 95, which
Yes,
see different dates.
It's all over the place. It's written and directed by P.J. Hogan, and it stars Toni Collette, one of my favorites, Bill Hunter, who also did The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert in the same year. Two very different roles.
Wow.
I know. Rachel Griffiths. This movie's so good. Margot, did you see it in the theater?
Yes, I did see it in the theater.
Me too.
When it first came, I think it was it's actually, so like I said, there's two different dates that are given for,
Yeah.
it probably opened in Australia first and then came to America, but I moved to New York in March of 95. And so somewhere that spring I did see it.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater too. I, like everyone, listened to ABBA in the 70s and then kind of rediscovered them in college. Mm-hmm. And I became very into like disco when I was in college in the 90s. Disco became cool again, I guess. Or at least to me it did.
Same.
So I had that like best of ABBA CD. And so when this movie came out, I was like, obviously I was going to run out and see it. And much like this time, it went in directions I was not expecting. Like, I think when we remember this movie, we remember all the music and, like, the funny parts. And then I'm like, oh, there's some serious shit in this movie.
It gets dark in this film.
It gets dark.
We had a friend of ours asked for a recommendation of, like, should he see it? And I'm like, I'm not sure right now if you're kind of going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Because, or maybe it'll help. I don't know. There's we'll go through the story. It takes some wild turns.
Yeah. But also I want to say, like, I think this movie super holds up. I think it actually might click with younger women now more than ever, because there is at least when we were younger, there's a lot of pressure to like do the normal path. I'm going to put that in quotes, or the traditional path. That's where I'm going. Like, you you get married, you have the big wedding, and that means, and like, that's one of the reasons, and we just celebrate women for that. Like, you got married, that's amazing. Like, your life is going to be the best fucking thing ever because you are married now. It's a whole new you.
It's still a thing, though.
Yes.
I actually had a conversation with a friend a few months ago about this very topic, and she was kind of shocked and annoyed that people kind of treated her differently because she was getting married. It's just like, I've always been cool. I don't,
Yeah, well, now you've been chosen, right? But I think I feel like there is a little bit more of a pushback now on that traditional value, and there are a lot of maybe it ties into the fact that a lot of like Gen Z women are like, I'm not even dating, like this isn't where I want to go. I don't want to get married and have kids. So maybe there's a little bit more pushback now than there used to be. But when this movie came out in 94, 95, I'm the target audience for this movie. Like, I should be doing the traditional thing. And Muriel, Toni Collette plays Muriel, wants to do the traditional thing. She wants to get married. She wants to feel special. Everyone will love her. She'll be a whole new version of herself if she just gets married. I think this would play very well with younger people now.
Yeah, especially once you're out of college.
Yeah.
Your 20s, I find, are very stressful. There's a lot that's expected of you.
Yeah.
You're supposed to figure yourself out then, because now you're technically a grown-up. You're getting your first big jobs and stuff like that. But it's still like there's so much just uncertainty.
Yeah. Shit, I figured myself out like fucking 3 years ago. I'm a late bloomer. Let's go through it. So if you haven't seen it, please pause this, go watch Muriel's wedding, and come back. It opens with a wedding, and it's got Toni Collette as Muriel. She is dressed in all like a leopard print dress.
My God.
She is at a wedding in her small Australian town, Porpoise Spit, which is that a real town?
No.
Okay.
No, he made it up for the movie.
Okay, because that's an unfortunate name. So she catches the bouquet, and she's so excited. Bless you. And instantly these bridesmaids are like, no one's ever going to marry you. Like, give the bouquet to someone who's actually going to get married. People instantly shit on her. They're so horrible to her.
Have you ever caught the bouquet?
Have I caught the bouquet? No.
I've
In
caught it
fact,
twice.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
No.
Didn't work.
There's one wedding where it fell right in front of me and I didn't pick it up. Like, literally, like, kicked it to the side. And another one where it hit me in the head. Again, because I wasn't trying. I was just standing there.
Have you been there to watch the women that get really excited about it?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
It's a thing. Like, it is the jokes in these, there's a joke in Clueless as well, where like all the women are fighting for the bouquet. This has 100% been a thing at weddings. Yeah. When you're younger, it's a thing. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. It makes me, as you get older too, there's like, it gets less and less crowded.
There's some traditions you start to question.
Yeah.
Like, do we really need to keep this going?
Yes.
I've also had like the groom that caught the garter.
Yeah.
And then put the groomsman that put the garter up my leg, and he almost went up to my like way upper thigh.
No.
Oh yeah.
We should just go ahead.
Wedding.
We should go ahead and retire this trend. Like,
yeah,
it's blah, blah. So she's at the wedding. She catches the bouquet. She's like, "Ooh, I'm next." And everyone's like being shitty to her. It turns out she's wearing a dress that is stolen. And there's like this woman who's a fucking busybody. Apparently she works in security at the store and recognizes her as someone who stole the dress. So she like calls the cops because she's, what a bitch.
It's like, seriously.
Mind your business. And she drives her, the cops show up. They take her away from the wedding. So embarrassing. And they take her back to her home, and this is where we meet her family. And her dad is this guy who he sits on like the local city council. At some point he ran for like parliament or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know the ins and outs of Australian government. He ran for like what would be the equivalent of like a House of Representatives, I think. Mm-hmm. And he lost, but he's like holding on to that dream that, oh, I was almost there. And we meet her family, and like her siblings are just sitting around on their asses watching cricket. The dad is a huge fucking toxic masculinity, racist prick. And the mom is so put upon. They're so... Yeah.
She's so dead inside. She is so just looking for someone to notice her and care.
Yeah.
And she just wants like someone to show appreciation.
Yeah, they all shit on her. All of them. I felt so my heart breaks for the mom in this movie. It's real tough to watch because they are just so awful to her. And I mean, the dad is fucking terrible. He just yells at them like, you're all useless. You know, you're all fat. What is he? You're stupid, fat, and useless. Like all of them. At one point they go out to dinner, and like every time they go out to dinner, this woman Deirdre shows up, and they're like, what a coincidence. Deirdre's here. It's his fucking mistress. And she like joins the table. It's so fucking awkward. The mom is like, again, she looks so sad. It's so sad. And Deirdre offers Muriel a job. She's like, you need a job. I can hire you. It's like, it's kind of like a Mary Kay cosmetic situation. And so Muriel, oh wait, I skipped over something. There's a part where Muriel goes out with her shitty friends. It's basically the group of popular girls in that town that Muriel is trying to join. Like they are all thin and
blonde, big hair.
Big hair, listen to the same like cool band, you know, and Muriel is not like them. She's funky and funny and listens to 70s music and all that. And they basically break up with her. They're like, you can't be friends with us anymore because you're not like us.
And I've heard this happen to friends of mine, to their kids.
Yes.
Like,
this is a middle school shit.
Yeah. But yeah, like somebody said that, I'll say that her name is Mary.
Yeah.
But they said that there's a group of kids that form the anti-Mary club. Yeah.
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 I was the kid in middle school or even high school where like all of a sudden it was, you can't hang out with us anymore. I've been that kid. Like I'm not pretending. I'm not trying to like make myself sound like a nerd. I've literally been that girl, and it's really fucking hard. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then I would like kind of hide in the library at lunchtime for a little while and then try to put myself back out there and meet new friends, you know. And for them to do this at this age, these are women in their 20s and they're still acting like middle schoolers. It's really fucked up.
It's fucked up, but
they're
they
huge
are
bitches.
Super young. They're bitches. It's fucked up, but they're also super, super young. Like they're all like 20, maybe 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really, really young, and they're from a small town. They have very small ideas, like who fits in and who doesn't fit in.
Yes.
And they're bitches.
Yeah, they're huge bitches. So they're all like, we're going to go on this holiday together, and Muriel can't go. So then Muriel gets this job where she's going to be selling Mary Kay type cosmetics. She gets a blank check from her mom to like buy some kits. And instead she takes out like a shit ton of money and goes on this vacation. And
where the girls are going, and they told her specifically they were going by themselves, that she was not invited to join them.
Yeah, and
so she spends all this money to go join them, but at a, another table and stuff. But it's very desperate.
It's so desperate. It's really awkward. And while she's there, she meets Rhonda, and that's Rachel Griffiths. These were, by the way, my introduction to both Rachel Griffiths and Toni Collette. I'd never seen them before, so both of them, I was like, who are these people? Like,
Who are these
Who
people?
are these people? And Rhonda remembers her from high school. She's like, you dropped out in year 10. I dropped out in year 11. And they like instantly hit it off because Rhonda likes Muriel just the way she is. She doesn't think there's anything wrong with Muriel. She's fun and she dresses bananas and she's like, I'm cool with that.
We also should say that there was a wedding, like the central girl with the biggest hair.
Oh, yes, the biggest hair.
She has this biggest hair thing, like a Jersey hair wave that was really popular. And she gets married, and one of her bridesmaids was stooping the husband.
So fucked up.
During
the
wedding.
It's so fucked up.
Like Sonny Corleone style, like in a bathroom.
Sonny Corleone.
But he was stooping a bridesmaid. I mean, his wife was there, but this is like the husband. The groom was screwing. And I swear to God, Sonia, that pink dress, I wore that same pink dress at a wedding around the same time in New Jersey.
Same. In the early 90s, I wore a fuchsia bridesmaid's dress, and it had like a little jacket.
Mine had big puffy sleeves and then like super tight, like around the elbows. And then it floofed out, and I had to get pot de soie shoes that dyed to match and white stockings. I don't mean to turn y'all on, but
I also did that.
The shoes were so slippery.
Yes.
And they made your feet stink because they don't breathe. It's like,
Oh my God. Were we in the same wedding and we don't remember?
I swear, I had like a purple, a pink wedding, a green wedding, a royal blue wedding. Oh my God. I've never gone to the black and white wedding where they're like, just pick a black dress. We're cool.
Yeah. When I got married, I told my sister, I was like, just wear whatever dress you want.
Yeah.
Get whatever you want. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not that bride. But like, I also had the fuchsia strapless dress that had a jacket with puffy sleeves, and then it snapped in the front, and there was like a big rose that like hid the snap. And then I had to go to like Payless Shoe Source and buy the shoes and get them dyed
to match.
Yeah. And by the way, all this shit is expensive.
It's expensive, and it all adds up.
Yes.
And you can't, you can't give them away. I mean, you think like, it could be a good prom dress, but it's tacky as crap. No 18-year-old or 17-year-old wants to wear it to the prom.
Every wedding was like, you could totally wear this again. And I was like, I will never
dye it black.
I will never
and
wear
cut
this
it
again.
shorter, and then it's an LBD. And it's like, no.
I'll never wear this again.
No.
I'm trying to think if the only one I ever wore again was a friend that I picked out like a silver, and it was like a 2-piece. So it was like a fun, like disco-y kind of silver halter, and then it had like a silver skirt, and I broke them apart.
That's smart.
Yeah, so then I wore the silver skirt at like a holiday party for work, and then I wore the top like one night for like a disco party. But that was it. I never wore them again after that.
Those shoes like also will break your neck if you don't like sand them down on the bottom.
Oh my God. No.
It's a whole thing, guys. Ugh.
I won't even wear a pair of heels now.
No.
I won't.
But that was the culture, 90s especially. Like everybody had to be uniform. There had to be the same dress, the same everything.
They would ask you to dye your hair sometimes.
Oh, some of them will say get a haircut or you have to part it on the side.
Will you take your glasses off? I got that every time. Will you take your glasses off for the pictures? No, bitch. I can see. I don't want to not see for your picture. Like, do you want me to not look like me?
They don't. It's some brides are assholes. Like they really get bridezilla-ish.
I don't talk to that bride anymore, so fuck off.
Right? But anyway, so we're just saying there's a lot of pain in being a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to feel like this extra wonderful thing. And some brides are great and low maintenance, and it is fun to be a part of a wedding. It is, and especially when you really like the couple.
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
Of course. I should make that clear. I don't mean to shit all over weddings. Like weddings are super fun to go to. Like I love a party just as much as anyone else, and being a part of it can be really, really exciting. But it also can be, it depends on the couple, like how much they demand of you.
Yeah, like and those bachelorette parties can get really expensive, like people flying to Vegas and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of expense, and then you're in your 20s. It's not like you're at your highest earning power either.
True that.
So it's a big commitment. So anyway, this girl gets married. Her friend is stooping the husband in the bathroom during the reception, and it's one of her closest friends.
Yes, one of the bridesmaids,
one of the bridesmaids. And Muriel walks in on them.
Yeah, she sees it. So she's got some dirt. She knows it.
She has some tea.
Yeah.
And she tells Rhonda, like, they all like their, and she should, because Rhonda's cool. Like, everyone likes Rhonda right away. She's down to earth, and she's like, those girls are bitches. She goes, you don't know the half of it.
Right.
That one slept with her husband. And then she's talking with them, and they said, how was the sex? And she said, I saw lipstick on his dick. So like, oh my God.
Dude, wash your dick. What is wrong with you?
The dick? Are you kidding me? That's just basic.
Look, if you learn one thing from Muriel's wedding, wash your dick.
Wash your dick. Jump in the shower real fast before you go. Just like, oh God, stressed all day. I got body odor. Let me just take a quick shower. That's just basic. But anyway, so it is. And I like that scene where Rhonda calls them out, and then they're all beating the shit out of each other at the table.
Yes. And there's all the, like, Rhonda's like, I'm not alone. I'm here with Muriel. And they instantly hit it off. And they do like the really fun, like, ABBA number at the like club talent show. They sing Waterloo. And which is, all the ABBA songs are great. All of them. They're all great. And like they're wearing the wigs, and it's really, really cute. And this is when the movie is like, it's fun. Like Muriel goes home, immediately like walks in, and it's like, you took all this money, like this has happened, dad's being charged with embezzling, and like she literally just picks up her suitcases and walks right back.
Like, peace out. She gets right back in that cab.
Gets back in the cab, goes to Sydney, and she's living with Rhonda. She's trying to change her name to Muriel because she wants to be a whole new person, and she's working at a video store. And
very
90s, right across the street from Rhonda, who's working at the dry cleaner, and they're like talking on the phone. And like, it's when you have like that new like best friend and you're like obsessed with each other, that's what they're doing right there. Like, that's what's happening. And there's like, a totally nerdy, shy guy that's always hanging around the video store that finally asks her out, and they go out to this club, and Rhonda's just
picks up two guys.
She picks up two Americans. She's like, bye-bye. Like, takes her two Americans and leaves them. I love watching them dance in the club, by the way. It was so hilarious. Like, Muriel, who listens to 70s music all the time, trying to dance to, like, techno. And the guy's like, I'm not a good dancer. He seems very sweet, by the way. Like,
he is. He's just going through a very awkward phase.
He is.
Yeah.
And they go back to her place, and he like makes his big move. It's so awkward. And she just breaks out in a giggle fit. She's never had a boyfriend before, I think they say at one point. So obviously this is all new to her. She's giggling. She starts screaming at one point, and then like Rhonda's two like naked Americans come out, and it's just like dicks everywhere. It's just like dick.
Because they think she's in trouble.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, they're coming out to protect her. And all she's
doing to her.
She comes in, all she sees are these dicks, and so she's screaming even more, like, oh my God, like dicks. Ah! And like Rhonda comes out, and she's just laughing, and like all this stuff starts happening, and Rhonda kind of gets pushed up against the wall, and then all of a sudden she like, it's like, I can't feel my legs, and then the movie is like, it's like a switch goes off in that movie.
It happens so suddenly, and so, like the dicks are flying, they're laughing. It's this fun little mayhem.
Yes.
And then she slumps to the floor, and then she just says, Muriel, I can't feel my legs.
Terrifying.
And then the next thing you know, they're in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she has a tumor on her spine, a cancerous tumor.
Yes.
And then the doctor, imagine, like, you know, it's like if you and I were going through this, like within like a month, like all of a sudden. But I would be there for you, of course.
Yeah, and I would be for you.
Absolutely. So she goes to the hospital with them because they have medical care in Australia for their citizens.
What's that like?
So they don't have to worry about the bill, but she's worried about the fact that she has cancer. It's growing on her back, and they're going to take it out. But they're saying there could be complications. It's very close to your spine.
Mm-hmm.
This could be, and she basically winds up paraplegic. She's in a wheelchair, and you know, Muriel's trying to help her, but you know, it's stressful, and it's a huge life change.
Yes.
And it's a sucker punch in the movie. Like, you think you're going in to see an ABBA, you know, wedding movie.
Yes.
Like, it's good. And then it just takes this bummer of a turn.
Yes.
And then Muriel is like, she's obsessed with getting married to the point that she goes to shops in Sydney and then tries on gowns and then tells people, oh, my mother's dying or my friend is dying. And they all feel sorry for her. So they put her in the best gowns and they take pictures of her. And she's doing it at multiple shops.
Yeah, she's hitting all the shops in town.
And telling them her sob story so that everybody, you know, and so she's got this fantasy in her head that gets her through.
Yes.
But it's weird because it's like she's really playing a weird game, and it pisses Rhonda off because she's just, you know, like, what are you doing? Why are you? Because she's saying Rhonda's story is like the motivation for her anyway.
Yeah.
Muriel,
she's using her, she's like kind of weaponizing that story to
serve her.
Yeah, to serve her. Like, she's not even doing it to be malicious. She's just she wants the fantasy. She wants the fantasy. She is 100% convinced that like someone will choose her, she'll get married, she'll feel so special. She just wants to feel special is really what it is. She wants to feel loved, and like the truth is she's already loved. Like, she has Rhonda, and they're real friends. They really love each other, and like, but we're not, I guess for lack of a better word, groomed to think that way. We're like, no, you have to be chosen.
You have to have a man.
Yeah.
You have to have a man that picks you.
Yes.
That's when you're special. That's when you're really complete.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other fucked up thing in the 90s about relationships and stuff, because they constantly push that. But so Muriel is kind of desperate. And then she comes across this deal where there's this swimmer from South Africa.
He's hot.
He's super fucking hot. How is he? I mean, but he, you know, there's apartheid in South Africa at the time, and he wants to compete in Sydney, but he needs to get married, basically.
He needs that green card, their equivalent of the green card or whatever.
Correct. And so they're auditioning different women to do it. And I mean, like I said, he's super hot. I'm not sure, but I guess it is a big ask of somebody. Like, you have to be married for like a certain number of years.
Yeah. And they're looking for someone that won't like get really like romantically entangled. Like, they're looking at like as a business deal. And the truth is, like, Muriel just wants to get married. She doesn't care if he loves her or not. She just wants the wedding. So in a way, she's kind of the perfect person for this.
Right. So she's just delighted to get a big wedding.
She's so funny. Every time she spits her tongue out all the time when she's like laughing or like smiling, and she's like, meh, meh. It just makes me laugh every time. And he's like, what about the dark-haired girl?
Right. We should say that they made her gain like 40, 50 pounds to be in the film. And she's not. She's still beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not sure why that's a thing, but like, I guess we're supposed to, on top of everything, wow, she's a little overweight. We gotta.
Yeah,
yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's like a 90s convention of like, this is how we really make somebody look pathetic, which is
Yeah, it's the same with Bridget Jones. It's like, first of all, this
Right.
person isn't overweight. She looks beautiful. She looks healthy and fine.
No,
But it's like, look how fat she is. She's not fat.
it's
She's
constantly they're
Yeah.
calling her obese and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and
it's
she's
ridiculous.
not.
Ridiculous.
But Toni Collette's very slim. You can see her in other movies.
Yes.
So yeah. But anyway, so that's all a part of her like awkwardness.
Yes.
And so she gets the dream wedding. She has those bitches as her bridesmaids
Yes.
because that's her getting back at them.
Yep.
And she wants Rhonda to be a part of it. And Rhonda's like, no, this is bullshit. You're
Yeah.
just doing this for the $10K. Also, she gets $10,000 for
Yeah.
marrying him. And then her father shows up with this mistress as his date.
So fucked up. And like he won't even like buy a plane ticket for the mom to come out. So like she took the bus and then she's like in a cab, like trying to get to the wedding on time. This is so awful. And she shows up late to the wedding and she's brought a gift. She's brought a gift to the wedding. It's like so sweet. And like
pathetic.
it's so sad.
It's so sad because she's just sitting there, like, not involved in any of the activities,
Yes.
not involved in the planning. Like, it's the agent for the guy, the coach for the guy is like set up everything. And so she gets her ABBA song walking in. She has a gorgeous gown. She looks beautiful.
Beautiful.
And it's it's the wedding of the season. Everyone's taking tons of pictures.
She walks down the aisle to I do.
I do.
So by the way, I love it when brides walk down to like unusual songs, I guess, non-traditional songs. I know I did the same thing. I love it when brides do that. I'm not married anymore, by the way, if this is your first time listening. So maybe don't do what I did. But it's so Muriel to like the whole wedding is like not Muriel in that she's just not this person, but like she's pretending to be. But that little touch of her playing the ABBA song is so her, like, and she looks amazing.
She looks gorgeous,
Yeah.
and they make a cute bride and groom, and then they go back to his really nice apartment in
Yeah.
Sydney. And he's basically like, there's your room. This is my room. This is the exercise equipment, but don't touch the weights, which I'm not sure why she's not allowed to touch the weights, but okay, he's picky. But this is now their agreement.
Yeah.
And then, so she's like, all right, she's still like, Rhonda has to move back home to Porpoise Spit.
Yeah,
because
Porpoise Spit and live with her mom.
Because she can't afford to live. She needs help. She needs somebody to live with her because of the condition she's in. So, she and
so
then
sad.
Muriel's mother dies.
Yeah. Well,
And
first the dad like is being like investigated by the feds or something, or their equivalent of the feds, the police, whatever. And he's like left her for Deirdre at this point. He by the way, on his way out, he like blames the mother for everything. Like, I would have won that election except my family's so shitty. Like, this is your fault. Like, look at this house, it's gross. Like, you're gross, these kids are gross. Like, he's awful to her.
He's the worst.
He's the fucking worst. And then he leaves and that was it. It just broke her. It broke her. And
it broke her spirit.
Yeah.
So we're told at first that she had a heart attack. So Muriel comes home to check, because her mother just died.
Yeah.
And that's when she finds out that she really died by suicide.
Yeah, she took sleeping pills. And this is when it starts to click for Muriel that she's turning into her dad. Like, she's, ditching the real people in her life for this like fake version that she's like building in her head. And there's like a service for the mother, and the dad is even using that as like to like puff up himself. Like, look, I got a telegram from the former prime minister, and using the mother's death is like a way to like forward his career and all of this. It's so shitty. Like, what a garbage person. He's such a garbage person.
Yeah. And that's when Muriel kind of confronts him for his garbageness and says, "You suck.
Yeah.
You're terrible. You killed her. You're despicable." And he basically is like, "Well, you stole money and you're fake too." And she says, "Here's $5,000.
Yeah. She's like,
have this.
I'll pay you back.
I'll pay the wreck. I'll pay you back every penny. I'm going to move back to Sydney and I'm going to get a job and I'm going to figure my life out."
Dude, instantly too, he's like, well, like, since the mom died, he's like, well, I guess you'll be moving back to take care of these kids. No, that's not her job, asshole. That's your job. They're your kids. And I guess Deirdre's like, I don't really want to marry this guy if I have to raise his kids. And it's because he's like, he's such a fucking prick. He's like, oh, I can't deal with my own kids. Like, that's women's work.
Right.
He's such a shithead. Oh, we don't want to skip over that, like, Hot Swimmer comes to the funeral, like,
right,
to be supportive. I feel like there's maybe some scenes cut out here to show that maybe he starts to, like, warm up to her.
I think they have like a friendship, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they warm, like you said, they warm up to. He realizes she's a sweet person.
Yeah.
She's really, she's not shallow. She's just someone who had a dream of getting married, and she was kind of hoping he would notice her. Maybe they would develop something, but they do have sex.
Yeah.
And because she's sad. He sees her humanity. He's kind of like in the same position as her. Like, I did something to, just for my own goals and not because I really felt this way about you or whatever. Anyway, they're figuring out like, this was not cool. We've been lying, but they have sex, which is good.
Yeah.
And then,
good for her. Get it, girl.
Good for her. Get it. And so she goes to Porpoise Spit to pick up Rhonda from her mom's house, and all those shitty girls are there.
Poor Rhonda, she's fucking trapped. Are you
kidding me? And Muriel shows up and she's like, guess what? Me and the hot dude, we're splitting up and I'm moving back to Sydney and you're coming with me. We're going to get a place. We're going to start over.
Yeah. And I love it when the mom's like, you can't just come back here and like take her away. And Rhonda's like, yeah, she can.
She can.
They're like, bye-bye.
And she literally just throws her in a cab.
Yep.
And it's like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then they ride off and, to the airport. Goodbye, Porpoise Spit. Like, it has a very like, yay ending where Muriel chooses herself and she chooses her friend.
Right.
Instead
of
some
growing up to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a good movie.
It's really a good movie. It's just, if you're not prepared, I find the first time I watched it, I remember, yes, I loved it. But a part of me is like, I wish I knew some of the beats here, only because it can be a real downer.
Yeah.
There's some real dark stuff happening here.
Yes.
And the fun stuff is really over the top fun. So maybe that's just part of the balance of it. But it's super well done. The performances are all great.
Yeah. Toni Collette is such a star. Like, she's so good in this.
She's so likable, even when she's a total fucking mess. I still am like, yeah, I get it.
Even in something like Knives Out, when she plays someone who's like so clueless and so like, she's like bad but not evil. I don't know. You still like her because she's Toni Collette.
Right.
She's so great. I was not prepared for the darkness the first time I saw this. And then I always forget about it. And then when I watch it again, I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
That's right. She can't move her legs like out of nowhere.
Yeah. And the stuff with the mom, like, is like so sad. And by the way, this happened to me again last year when I saw The Iron Claw, which I thought was going to be a fun 80s wrestling movie. Boy, was I wrong. That one was a punch in the gut. Have you seen that one yet?
No, because you told me how much of a punch in the gut it is. And I think it's on Hulu or Penguin or Apple. It's on one of those streaming services I have. And I'm just like, I can't make that click happen.
No.
I'm just like, I know it's going to wreck me.
Yes, it's It's really, really good. It's really good. And everyone is so good in it. And Zac Efron is so good in it. And I was like, yay, fun 80s wrestling movie. And then I didn't know the story. It's a true story. If you know the true story, then you already knew what was going to happen and you were prepared for that. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Boy.
We have a lot of wrestling fans that listen to our show.
Yeah, so they probably already knew all of that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. It's almost like worth it to like read about the true story and then see the movie. But maybe not right now.
Not right now. Not today.
No, not
after this.
Not after this one. Exactly. Like, no.
Break. Yeah, but it's really well done, and the message is great.
Yes.
And it's so ironic. I guess I don't know if it's ironic or not, but like 10 or 15 years after I saw the movie, I worked at a bridal magazine for a couple of years, and bridal culture is tough.
It's so tough.
There's a lot of pressure on people to get married. There's a lot of pressure on people to create an event that is so special, and different and memorable and all. I mean, and you forget about like, are you two compatible? Do you really want to be together? And are you ready? And it's okay to like take your time.
Yeah, and there's all of that, and there's so people have a certain expectation of what they want weddings to be and how they want brides to behave too. By the way, I heard more than a few times like I wasn't acting bridey enough. Like they wanted me to be like, no, it should be these colors and these flowers, and like I was like, I don't care about this stuff. And like I ran into the same thing with a baby shower, like where I was like, we don't have to do all of this. Like, can we just not do all of this? And then people were like, Sonia hates being pregnant. And I was like, well, yeah, being pregnant sucks.
Well, yeah, that is the whole nowadays. It's the gender reveal that's like now has to be on top of that. It's like, I mean, I'm happy for you.
Yes.
But wow, it's just a lot of look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
I now, in my 50s, I can look back and say, like, we should be celebrating people. I'm going to say people. It doesn't even have to be women, because right now it's like we celebrate women for like getting married. We celebrate women for having babies. And I'm like, and we have these like big parties and we make them feel really special. And I'm like, we should be doing this all the time. Like, you could do this for your birthday. You could do this for a graduation. You could have a huge party for yourself because you got promoted at work or you got a new job or whatever. Like, you don't need a wedding for that. Like, you don't need to have a baby shower. Like, Margot could have a huge party because she wrote a book. Like, let's celebrate Margot. She wrote a book. Fuck yeah. Like, that's dope. I like that people have divorce parties, though. I'll say that.
That's fun.
I'll allow it.
Even Jack White did it with his ex-wife in attendance. Like, they just had a party to celebrate the end of their marriage. Like, it was a good ride. Now we're moving on. Like, I respect that.
Jack Black.
Jack Black or Jack White is from the White Stripes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Jack.
Jack Black is now doing the Britney Spears.
Yeah.
He's doing Kung Fu Panda.
I love him so much.
He and Kyle have covered the Britney Spears song.
I love him so much.
My loneliness
is killing me. I love Tenacious D.
So good.
I love
they were great.
I love them so much. Do you want to hear about some other Toni Collette movies?
Always.
Yeah, we've done some 94 movies before, so I was running out of things to talk about. So this was my introduction. Muriel's Wedding was my introduction to Toni Collette. And then after that, so 96, she did Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's right.
I love that version of Emma. Thought she was really good.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. I love Jane Austen stuff, so I'm in the pocket for that. She also did a movie called Clock Watchers.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember really liking it.
I really liked it at the time too. I think it might be on the Criterion channel now, so I might want to go back and watch that one. We have already done an episode on this one, The Sixth Sense.
Yes, we did.
She's so fucking good in that movie. Love her.
A star.
She's a star. About a Boy,
which I haven't seen in so long.
I haven't seen since the theater, but again, I really, really like that one. And by the way, she's always good. In all of these, she's good. In Her Shoes.
I don't even know that one.
That's with her and like Cameron Diaz, and they play sisters, and it's messy, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen it since the theater. That's another one. This one I know I've seen since the theater, Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, that's an interesting movie. Also has like some weird emotional beats.
Yes, it's one that I saw in the theater and loved, and then people were like, this is the epitome of like indie twee shit, and so there was like a backlash, and I was like, I still like it. But that's fine. I watched this movie over the holidays. Have you seen Krampus?
No, is it good?
It is a holiday like scary movie, kind of in the spirit of a little bit more aggressive Gremlins, I guess would be a way to describe it. It was really good. It's really good with Adam Scott plays her husband. It's a good one. It's on Peacock. I watched it on Peacock. So keep it on your list for the holidays. Of course, we've done an episode about Hereditary, in which she is amazing and should have won 1 million awards for.
And we had the editor for Mental Floss as our guest.
That was
great.
so fun. So fun.
Yeah, she was great.
We also did Knives Out, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she's in Knives Out. We fucking love Knives Out. We love the second one. She's always great. And did you see Mafia Mama?
No, what the hell is that?
That is a movie with Toni Collette. Her like father passes away, and so she goes to Italy, and it turns out he's in the mob or something. I haven't watched it. It's streaming on Prime, and I'm like, should I watch Mafia Mama? But the reviews have not been very kind. Patrick Bromley at F This Movie watched it, and he said it's surprisingly violent for a comedy.
Ooh.
So good to know. And that's our list.
So the top 10 I got was from the American release, which was the last week in March of 1995.
Okay.
So number 10, this is such a fucking, 90s list here. Number 10, Hootie and the Blowfish, Hold My Hand.
You couldn't. That song was everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. Ugh, this song. Sheryl Crow, Strong Enough.
Oh, yeah. So mushy. Are you strong enough to be my man?
Whatever. Number 8, I just don't like Sheryl Crow. Number 8, Brownstone, If You Love Me.
I don't know this song.
I don't know that one. Number 7, we know this one, Boys to Men, On Bended Knee.
Jesus. Wedding song.
Ballads.
They love their ballads.
Number 6, Real McCoy, Another Night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know that one. That's kind of techie.
I love this song. Desiree, You Gotta Be.
I do love that song. I still love that song.
So good.
So good.
Number 4, Brandy, Baby.
I loved Brandy.
Brandy was hot.
Yeah.
Number 3, Soul for Real, Candy Rain. I don't remember that.
I bet if I heard it, I would recognize it, but I don't listen to that one on the regular.
Number 2, TLC, Creep.
My favorite. My favorite. I'm going to go put on my TLC No Scrub shirt after this.
And number 1, Madonna, Take a Bow, which was a beautiful song.
That's a beautiful song. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
My friend, I need to find my list. Where? Oh, here it is. Here we go. Now, Netflix, you and I have been talking about this a lot this week.
Yes, we have.
Off the air. Buying Beverly Hills is great, y'all.
It's so entertaining. Entertaining.
Real estate porn. It's It's selling Sunset. I like Selling Sunset, but after a while, I'm a little exhausted by the music and the fashions, like the super high heels and the big hair. It just, for me, it gets to be a little much.
Right.
So I just really am more interested in like the office atmosphere and there's family working there and the sisters working together. And Maurizio, because you don't watch Beverly Hills. I watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And Maurizio's been on the show like 13 seasons now. And he, you were saying like, what's he like on the show? And on the show, he's kind of a goofy guy. Like he's usually stoned. He's kind of goofy. But he's always very, very busy. And here you see him, how hard he works and how much he's, you finally get the tea about him and Rick Hilton because they never explain it on Beverly Hills.
That's so interesting that like Bravo is kind of getting scooped by Netflix on this one.
Yeah. And so he's like, it's really incredible, like how much he's created in a short period of time, like 10 years. He has offices all over the world. It's all luxury selling.
Fancy.
The homes they show. It's a really nice mixture of different kinds of homes, but I just find LA a really beautiful background, and Venice, and they also go to Aspen. They go, but he has like the 3 daughters, and then he has some people that work at the office. And we were saying like it's so funny because Maurizio is 53 and he looks
63.
Yeah, he has not done a ton of Botox or anything, which is not.
He's very handsome. He's a handsome man.
He's super handsome, and he's a good boss. I think. Like he seems pretty fair. He has a no hassles policy.
Yeah.
But he has a lot on his plate. Like you realize, like this guy must like sleep numbers in his head, right? Like all the things, because you know, I think most real estate agents, you don't have a salary, you just make money off of your commission.
Yeah, you got to hustle.
And so you have to hustle. And I think like they all look kind of tired and kind of like on edge because it's like you have no money and then you can maybe make $225,000. Like boom. And then you have nothing, or you can have like a streak where you just have even more than that. I mean, there's a lot of like money you can make, but also the market is softening because there's been too many homes built.
It's a gamble. You're kind of gambling. You know, even
when you own a home, I mean, people tell you like, "Oh, it's the best investment ever." I'm like, "Is it though? Not for everybody."
Yeah,
you know,
the homes on here, they're beautiful. This is how the other half lives. Like these homes are like millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, they're like $10 million and up or something. Like some of them are like 4 million. Oh, 4 million. Well, I could totally afford that. Meanwhile, mine is like, Sonia, how much can you offer? I can offer you $500 and I will share my Hulu subscription with you. That is it. That's all I got. I could share. I will let you use my Peacock login.
I can look after your cats when you go on vacation.
Yes.
It is how the other half lives, but that's kind of like part of the fun, but also because there's all this talk like, well, who's going to take over when Maurizio dies? And it's like, he's only 53.
Dude's 53. He's not, he's not going anywhere. He's not even retiring. And
no. But he realizes, well, also it's his marriage, which by the way, on Beverly Hills, they never go into the reasons, or it's really kind of shady the way she produced herself there. Whereas here, it's much more from his point of view, but that they were split up. Like they were, and it's really sad for those girls. Cause like they're going away on a 4th. They find out on the air, like while they're filming July 4th weekend last year, that their parents were separated. They're like, what? You live together. What is going on?
They find this shit out from like People Magazine or like TMZ, like everybody else. It's really fucked up. I'm like, what are you doing?
So, you know, they've had to film a few times, like them telling the girls. But there's also one very if there's a scene where Maurizio is telling his daughters, like, I can date who I want. Your mother could do what she wants. I'm going to Aspen for a month because I need to chill out. And then there's pictures of him in Aspen with on the slopes where there's women wearing just towels.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Right. So,
Dude.
But, you know.
But on
like,
top of that, it's like such an, like, the office culture itself is also super interesting. The dynamic of how they work together. The daughters, you know, originally I was like, oh, okay. Like, the daughters they are interested in real estate. Like, two of them have been working there for a while, it appears, and like are good realtors in their own right. And then Sophia is like learning the ropes. Like, they seem like good. I'm like, they seem pretty smart. Like
Farrah especially is like, she's a boss. I mean, she's got it together. But like Farrah goes through a breakup with her fiance during the whole thing. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure. Also, there's pressure on them to like have the other employees respect them. Like, and there's people, and some people handle it better than others. There's a woman, I think it's Melissa.
Her name's, I think it's like Michelle, I think. Michelle. Yeah, she does not handle things well.
She talks a little too much, and especially when the cameras are around. But I don't know if that's like also a strategy, like, because the more you're on camera, the more likely you'll be asked to come back. And I'm sure they all get paid to be on the show.
For sure. And there's some very entertaining other agents. There's Ben and Zach, who co-host a podcast together in the office. Like, their dynamic is really funny. Like, when the two of them are together, they give each other a lot of shit, and it makes me laugh. I thought it was bananas that one of the agents, Brandon, was like selling a house for another agent, and then that agent's like ex-girlfriend was like, "You need to give me a cut of your commission," and he literally laughs in her face.
Because she said, I did some decorating in there, so I think I deserve it. He's like, are you high? Like, no.
The fucking nerve of her to be like,
doesn't sell anything, right? Like, she's also, so I don't know. It's
so good though.
It's so good though. Yeah. So it's on Netflix around the world, and it's been doing really well. It's
very entertaining. Very entertaining.
And then I've also been watching Palm Royale on Apple Plus.
I'm going to start that one soon.
It's the Kristen Wiig show, and Carol Burnett is in this show. Like, Mindy Cohn, Natalie from Facts of Life is in this show. Like, there's so many incredible
Laura Dern,
guest stars.
right?
Laura Dern, Ricky Martin has a big role. He's super funny. It's who am I thinking of? Super tall, played CJ in West Wing.
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney, she's always great. It's super fun. I mean, it's light. Let's just say that. It's just a really light. It's super light. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about this week.
Well, on top of buying Beverly Hills, which I've been obsessed with all week, I told Margot this. I don't know why I hate myself, but I watched The Truth versus Alex Jones on HBO Max, and it's a tough watch. Everything Sandy Hook upsets me, makes me fully cry, bawl. They explain what happened at Sandy Hook. It's very upsetting, but most of the documentary is about how fucking awful Alex Jones is. We did a whole episode about Alex Jones on our other podcast, What a Creep. What he did to the families of these victims is fucking beyond. And they take him to court and they sue him. And it is fun to watch Alex Jones get his ass handed to him in court. I will admit that is a joy to watch. But like, the fact that this person exists, that he does this and it's just for money, like, it's disgusting. He's a garbage person. Garbage. It's very upsetting to watch. But I'm glad that it exists. Like, there could be a lot of people that don't know the shit about him, and I hope that it reaches an audience. These HBO documentaries open a lot of eyes for people, and seriously, fuck that guy. Like,
it's all the conspiracies he spreads. It's
Yes.
like there's so many that it's hard, and he's such a buffoon that sometimes you're just kind of like, nobody can take this seriously.
But
this
people
guy is,
do.
but
That's-
they do. And the families were harassed of the children because
Yes.
he said they were actors, that there's nobody died, there's no kids that are dead. All these people that are claiming they lost their children are liars. And then these people were harassed from people all around the world.
Yeah. It's not
to the point
just
where it was just unbelievable.
And it's not just, oh, well, then they should just get off social media. They were harassed in the real world.
Right.
Like, these people were getting letters at their home saying that we're pissing on your child's grave because there's nobody in there. There were people coming up to them at like grocery stores and gas stations. Sometimes they were fully on the other side of the country, and strangers were coming up to them and saying like you're that person who did the hoax for Sandy Hook, blah, blah, blah. I can't even, first of all, I can't imagine anything worse than losing your child. To me, that's like, it's unnatural. Like, this should never fucking happen. And I can't imagine, I'm going to get upset, so I'm not going to I can't. But like, and then to like, the pain that he inflicted on them after they dealt with what I think must be the worst fucking pain in the world. I can't wish enough pain on Alex Jones. I have no empathy for Alex Jones. None.
No, and he's moved money around the world, and he's he's still on the air.
Yep.
He still has followers. He's still, I don't know if he's on YouTube, but he's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Truth Social, I'm sure, but like, what's the other? It's not YouTube, but there's another one.
Yeah,
Bumble?
it's
No.
like Rumble or something like that.
Rumble or something like that. Yeah, like they all, but yeah. And there's people that, they'll go on other podcasts and say like, I don't know why Alex Jones is such a big deal. What about this? And they try to and conflate things. And it's so...
it is exactly that. And like, he's not sorry. He's not sorry.
No.
I mean, he literally like is looking at these people in their face and he's pretending. He's like, yeah, I didn't mean it or whatever. But he does mean it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He just wants to push his like shitty supplements and make his money. And he doesn't care how he does it. And it's disgusting. I'm not going to say anything else because I'm going to say a bunch of things that people will be like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But fuck that guy. And it's really upsetting to watch, but it's very well done. It's the same director who did Leaving Neverland. There's a lot of access here to the parents, the police, to like even Alex Jones's lawyers speak to him. Like, it's really well done, but it's a tough watch.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing is tough. Yeah.
I did go to the theater the other night and I saw Love Lies Bleeding with Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien. Have you heard of this movie?
Of course I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's so fucking good, you guys. It's really, really good. It's written and directed by Rose Glass. She also did a movie called Saint Maud. I haven't seen Saint Maud, but I know it has its fans. And this movie has definitely got like, there's a lot of comparisons to Bound here because there's like a lesbian love story and it's a thriller. So if you're hearing that comparison, it really has to do with that. But you really, really care about Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien's characters to the point where I was really, really scared for them. And that doesn't happen that often. I see these movies and you're like, whatever, it's just a movie, or you don't like super care. And I was scared for them. Like my shoulders were all the way up to my ears. Like I was like so stressed out for them. It's really, really well done. It's set in like 89, I think. So it's definitely got that 80s vibe about it. There's no cell phones or anything. Dave Franco is in it playing like the biggest fucking prick in the world with like the worst mullet you've ever seen. Ed Harris is playing someone really, really fucking scary in this movie. Is like he's like Kristen Stewart's father in the movie, and he's got like a really shitty past, like a really shady past, I should say. But Kristen Stewart's character runs a gym, and she meets this girl Jackie, and that's Katie O'Brien, and she is training to be a bodybuilder, and she wants to compete at like the bodybuilding event in Vegas. And they meet and they fall in love, and I don't want to give too much away because it would ruin the movie for people, but Katie O'Brien is, I've never seen her in anything else before, and she is one of those people that's just like, I couldn't take my eyes off her. She's special. You know, when I talk about people who are special, she is, I don't know, man, there's something about her. She's just super beautiful, and she's a bodybuilder. Like I'm like, did they write this movie just for her? How do you find someone like this? She's amazing in it. I was really, really impressed. So if you get a chance to see it. I don't know when it's going to start streaming. I think it's an A24 movie. So where do A24 movies usually show up? Hulu?
Yeah.
It's good. I highly recommend.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Did you see Bound?
Of course I've saw Bound.
Yeah. Those are two people I super cared about too. So I guess the comparisons are pretty accurate. I think that's everything on my list. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
My friend, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Brooklyn Fit Chick is my site. That's where I am for Threads and Instagram. I'm at Brooklyn Margot for Twitter and also TikTok. And I put a couple of clips of Muriel's wedding on the TikTok that got a lot of likes.
Yeah, everybody follow Margot. She's always posting good stuff. You are too. Oh, thanks, friend. We also co-host the podcast, What a Creep. And this week's creep is Kirk Cameron and his sister, Candace. They suck. They're garbage people, everybody. That's why the show is called What a Creep. But it was a super fun episode, though. Like, we had a good time. We were laughing. We were cracking up. We had a really good time with that one. So definitely check that out. If you want to find me, I'm at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on all the social media channels. Except I don't really go to Facebook. So Instagram, Blue Sky. You can find me on Twitter if you want to go there, TikTok, etc. So we had a couple of. So I was gonna say we had a couple of nice reviews on YouTube. This for the last one we did. Boiler Room. Yeah.
So thanks for that. Yeah, thank you. Like I'm happy that other people enjoyed that episode so much because we certainly enjoyed watching the movie and recording it. That was a really fun movie to talk about. If you like our show and want to give us a review on the social media channel of your choice, wherever you listen to your podcast, please, that would be super helpful. It helps us find our people. You can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. We take requests. This was a request. We've been getting lots of requests for Muriel's wedding. So send us your request. And if you give us your address, we'll send you some stickers. Super adorable. You could put them on your laptop and it helps promote the show. We appreciate you. And you can find Dorking Out Show at dorkingoutshow.com and Dorking Out Show on all the social media channels. My friend, thank you for talking about Muriel's wedding with me. You're wicked, Sonia. Goodbye, porpoise spit.